At 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night, Jennifer Walsh sat at her kitchen table surrounded by overdue bills and final notices, her 6-year-old daughter, Emma, asleep in the bedroom they shared in their small apartment. At 31, Jennifer had learned to stretch every dollar, but this month the math simply wouldn't work. The electricity would be shut off tomorrow, and she had exactly $17 to her name. With trembling fingers, she scrolled through her phone contacts until she found her brother Mike's number. They'd had a falling out 2 years ago over money. She'd borrowed $300 for Emma's school supplies and hadn't been able to pay it back as quickly as promised. Mike had said harsh things about her poor choices and lack of responsibility. They hadn't spoken since. But tonight, with Emma's asthma medication running low and no way to refill the prescription, Jennifer swallowed her pride and typed, "Mike, I know we haven't talked and I know you're angry with me, but Emma is sick and I don't know where else to turn. I need help with her medication and the electric bill. I'm not asking as someone who feels entitled to your help. I'm asking as someone who's desperate and scared. I'll pay you back somehow, I promise. Please." She hit send before she could change her mind, then put her head in her hands and cried, quietly, so she wouldn't wake Emma. 40 miles across the city, Michael Patterson was in his home office, reviewing quarterly reports for Patterson Industries, the manufacturing company he'd built from nothing over the past 15 years. At 43, he was successful beyond his wildest childhood dreams, but lately that success felt hollow. The big house, the expensive cars, the bank accounts. None of it filled the silence that had settled over his life since his divorce 3 years ago. His phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Michael almost deleted it without reading. He got plenty of spam messages. But something made him open it. He read the message twice, his heart clenching at the raw desperation in those words. Someone named Emma was sick. Someone's electricity was being shut off, and a woman was swallowing her pride to ask for help from someone who had clearly hurt her in the past. Michael stared at the message for a long time, imagining the circumstances that would drive someone to send such a vulnerable plea. Then he noticed the phone number. It was 1 digit off from his own, an easy mistake to make when typing quickly through tears. He could simply ignore it, delete the message, and return to his reports. But something about those words, "I'm asking as someone who's desperate and scared," wouldn't let him. Instead, he found himself typing back, "I think you may have sent this to the wrong number, but I received your message about Emma and your situation. Are you safe? Do you need immediate help?" Jennifer's phone buzzed, and she looked at the response through her tears. Wrong number? Her heart sank even further. She'd humiliated herself by begging for help from a complete stranger. She typed back quickly, "I'm so sorry. I meant to text my brother Mike. Please ignore this. I'm mortified." But Michael was already reaching for his coat. Something about the situation felt urgent, and he'd learned to trust his instincts. He typed back, "Don't be mortified. What's your address? I'd like to help if you'll let me." Jennifer stared at her phone in disbelief. A stranger offering to help? It had to be some kind of scam. She typed, "That's very kind, but I can't accept help from someone I don't know. It wouldn't be safe." "I understand completely," came the reply. "My name is Michael Patterson. I own Patterson Industries downtown. You can look me up online if you want to verify that I'm legitimate. I'm not asking to come inside or meet your daughter. I just want to help with the immediate crisis. Sometimes the universe puts the right message in front of the right person." Jennifer's hands shook as she Googled Michael Patterson Industries. The search results showed a successful businessman, philanthropist, and single father whose company employed hundreds of people locally. The photos showed a kind-faced man with graying temples and sincere eyes. Still uncertain, she texted back, "Why would you want to help a complete stranger?" "Because," Michael replied, "I know what it's like to be desperate and scared. And because I believe that when someone asks for help and you have the ability to give it, that's not coincidence. That's responsibility." An hour later, Michael stood outside Jennifer's apartment building, holding a bag from the 24-hour pharmacy and an envelope. When Jennifer answered the door, she'd insisted on meeting him in the lobby for safety. He was struck by her quiet dignity despite her obvious exhaustion. "You didn't have to come all this way," Jennifer said, her voice thick with emotion. "I wanted to," Michael replied simply. "I got Emma's medication. The pharmacist said this should cover her for the month. And this," he handed her the envelope, "should take care of your electric bill and give you a little breathing room for groceries." Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. "I can't possibly accept this much. I don't even know you." "You don't need to know me to accept kindness," Michael said gently. "And you don't need to pay me back. Just, when you're in a position to help someone else someday, do it." That's how kindness works. It moves forward, not backward. "But why?" Jennifer asked, wiping her eyes. "Why would you do this for a stranger?" Michael was quiet for a moment, thinking about his empty house, his successful but solitary life, and the strange sense of purpose he'd felt since receiving her message. "Because 15 years ago, I was a single father working 3 jobs to keep my business afloat and take care of my son. A stranger helped me when I was about to lose everything. She said the same thing I'm saying to you. Pass it forward when you can." Over the following weeks, Michael found himself thinking often about Jennifer and Emma. He'd left his number in case of emergencies, and Jennifer had sent a few brief updates. Emma was feeling better, the electricity stayed on. She'd found a weekend job to supplement her income. But more than that, helping them had awakened something in Michael that had been dormant for too long. He began volunteering at the local family resource center, using his business connections to create job opportunities for single parents, and funding a program that helped with emergency expenses for families in crisis. 3 months later, Michael received another text from Jennifer. "Mr. Patterson, I wanted you to know that I got a promotion at work. I'm finally stable enough to start paying forward the kindness you showed us. I helped a neighbor with her rent this month, and it felt amazing. Thank you for teaching me that strangers can become guardian angels." That weekend, Michael was at the grocery store when he heard a familiar voice behind him. "Mr. Michael!" He turned to see a little girl with bright eyes and a missing front tooth, tugging on the hand of a woman he recognized as Jennifer. "Emma," Jennifer said, slightly embarrassed. "I'm sorry, Mr. Patterson. She insisted on saying hello when she saw you." "I'm glad she did," Michael said, kneeling down to Emma's level. "How are you feeling, sweetheart?" "Much better. Mama says you're the nice man who helped us when I was sick. I made you a picture." Emma pulled a carefully folded piece of paper from her pocket, a drawing of 3 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. "That's you, me, and Mama," Emma explained. "Because you're part of our family now, even though you don't live with us." Michael felt his throat tighten with emotion. "It's the most beautiful picture anyone's ever given me, Emma. Thank you." As they parted ways in the parking lot, Jennifer lingered for a moment. "Mr. Patterson, Michael, I know you said not to pay you back, but I wonder if you'd let me cook dinner for you sometime. Emma talks about you all the time, and I'd like to thank you properly, and maybe you could use some home cooking." 6 months later, Michael sat at Jennifer's kitchen table, the same table where she'd written that desperate message, helping Emma with her math homework while Jennifer prepared Sunday dinner. It had become their weekly tradition, these quiet family meals that had grown into something none of them had expected, but all of them treasured. "You know," Jennifer said as she set the table, "I never did hear back from my real brother, Mike." "His loss," Michael said, watching Emma explain her math problem with the patience of someone who'd learned that the best solutions often come from unexpected places. "Do you think," Emma asked, looking up from her homework, "that sometimes the wrong number is really the right number?" Michael and Jennifer exchanged a smile across the kitchen, this kitchen, that had become the heart of a family that began with a misdirected message and grew into something beautiful through simple kindness and the courage to trust. "I think," Michael said, "that sometimes the best things in life come from the messages we never meant to send and the strangers who choose to answer them anyway. Sometimes desperation leads us to reach out blindly, hoping for help from anywhere it might come. And sometimes, in the mysterious way that grace works in the world, our messages find exactly the person who needs to receive them. Not because they owe us anything, but because helping others helps us remember who we're meant to be.